Well. Nigeria in the news again, and not for the right things, and also simultaneously for the right things. Bitcoin premium hit 60% in Nigeria as country limits ATM withdrawals. The price of one Bitcoin in Nigeria skyrocketed to the equivalent of $38,000 in the local currency, the Naira. We've already talked about, in the last couple month or two, we talked about the e-Naira, the central bank digital currency for Nigeria, having like less than 0.5% of adoption. That's how little it is, and then Bitcoin being used by 30 to 40% of the younger generations. So the CBDC, the central bank digital currency, literally just being trounced, absolutely no adoption at all. As we can see, a country who gets it, who understands the the freedom aspect of what Bitcoin is, and understands how much governments can crush you, and how much the global entities, IMF, the World Bank, the Bank of International Settlements, can crush you. They understand this firsthand, and the developed worlds are going to learn this last. People in America, people in Australia, the UK, Canada, they're going to learn this lesson last, unfortunately. It's going to be a hard lesson to learn. And the great wealth transfer is being done right now. And as I've been saying here for a while, the great transfer is really happening from the northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere. As those resource-rich countries, there's not tons of landmass in the southern hemisphere, but the resources, a lot of resources are in the southern hemisphere, and they are now going to transfer, because a lot of those countries are developing countries, and those people get it. The people in those countries, the beautiful people of these countries get it, because they've been crushed over and over again by the people at the International Monetary Fund, and giving them predatory loans, and then stealing all of their assets, all their resources. So now the people of the southern hemisphere have an actual tool they can use, a peaceful tool where they can say, no more. I'm taking a stand for my freedom, my sovereignty, my family, my posterity, and you will never do this to me again. This is why this is happening. The price of Bitcoin in Nigeria has skyrocketed to well above global market levels amid continued efforts by the central bank to push its digital cash, its central bank digital currency, which again we'll link to here, which we've talked about before, that has no adoption. And this is just like for thousands of years we saw before the world went analog to now digital. We had gold premiums and silver premiums on when you couldn't find the actual physical asset. Just like here with Bitcoin, you see the premium start to skyrocket. This is going to continue happening. This is what drives adoption. This is one of the reasons, one of those reasons, a game theory playing out, why Bitcoin's price has moved upward 30, 40, 50% over the last few weeks since the beginning of 2023. Global liquidity is being injected into the market as well on the sidelines, by the way. Go back and check a couple of our videos over the last couple of weeks talking about how everyone's looking over here at the Fed tightening. The Fed looks like they probably are going to raise interest rates again. Yet at the same time, global central banks are net positive QE, quantitative easing, and injecting liquidity in the system, meaning more inflation for all of us to enjoy in the future. So you best get into the hardest money possible, the deflationary money that keeps your purchasing power and actually transfers the wealth from the inflationary fiat legacy system to the deflationary new Bitcoin system. That's it. That is a trade in a nutshell. It's a finite time trade to a finite asset. Instead of this finite time, you're trading for an infinite asset, or infinite liability, which is dollars, pesos, yen, nairas. Make the fair trade for yourself. At the time of writing, the price of one Bitcoin on the Nigerian crypto exchange Naira EX is 18 million Nairas, equating to a whopping almost $39,000. This is more than a 60% premium over the current market price of Bitcoin, around $23,700 at the time of writing. It comes as the central bank of Nigeria has continued to impose limits on ATM cash withdrawals amid an ongoing effort to accelerate its shift to a cashless society. So as we've been saying this for a long time as well, this is coming to a ATM, to a bank, to a place near you, to an app near you. If you think you are somehow out of this game and it doesn't matter to you and it's not going to happen to you, then you have another thing coming. When you need it most is when these things will be taken from you. We saw it, Canadian truckers. We saw the Russians getting their $600 billion frozen out of the system, a nuclear superpower. If you think, little old me and you think we are any better than any of these people, or the Nigerians, the Canadians, Russians, doesn't matter. You have another thing coming. You have not been paying attention at all. You've been, I don't know, watching too much football, playing too many fantasy sports. I have no idea. But you, your wealth, your future freedom, your family literally all hinges on your, right here. The choice people are going to make going forward is, do I want slavery and CBDC, central bank digital currencies, or do I want Bitcoin and freedom? Choice is yours. Bitcoin is truly hope. I find it interesting that I've never heard of Bezos crypto, but they're talking about Bitcoin, which I find hilarious since it's a SHIB handle. Bitcoin is selling for a 60% premium, talking about this, and the $44 a day is what they've limited to. So what's crazy now is, interestingly, maybe not coincidentally, Nigeria now leads the world in Google searches of buy Bitcoin. I don't see, again, we've been saying this for a long time too. Don't be going and buying a SHIB. Don't be buying Ethereum. Don't be, all these other altcoins, scam coins, affinity coins. They're worthless. They're captured coins. They're centralized name only. There's a reason that the people who actually need this right this moment, which we all do and all will, the people that need it right this moment, maybe in the Western world you are okay and you don't need it right this second. You tell me you don't need it. However, the people that actually need to transact and live day to day are being squeezed out of the system, and they are searching for Bitcoin. They're buying Bitcoin. They're not buying all the other 22,000, 25,000 scam coins and garbage coins. There's a reason for that. We've been telling you that here for a long time. If you would have been listening and buying it all the way through this bottom here, you'd be up 30, 40%. I'm loving looking at my balance sheet right now. It's amazing. When you buy is when there's blood in the streets, and there's still blood in the streets. This is a multi-million dollar asset in the coming decades. We are still incredibly low. This is not financial advice. This is freedom advice. Wealth gives you freedom. It's freedom to do what you want, to not put things in your body or put things in your body at your discretion, not because your employer said so. It gives you the ability to have the doctors you want, the care that you want, go to the vacations you want, give your family what it is they need, food, water, security. That's what wealth is. So price in fiat terms is the least interesting aspect of Bitcoin. However, what Bitcoin gives you is freedom. It's hope. It's what truly the planet has now because of Bitcoin. It's an escape. It's a life raft off the inflationary, destructive, sinking fiat system. Earlier this month, the central bank imposed a limit on cash withdrawals following a December announcement. As of January 9th, citizens are only allowed to withdraw a maximum of 28,000 nairas, around $44 from cash machines per day. And again, that happened here. It's happened here many times. One of the last times I truly remember is 9/11, where there's bank withdrawal limits, there's bank holidays. This happens here. It happens everywhere. It will happen again. Trust me on this. Just like we said, there will be civil unrest. There will be things happening here. You have to get prepared. With a weekly limit of 100,000 nairas, or 217 American dollars. The move also came just days before new naira notes went into circulation with the aim of curbing inflation and money laundering. The central bank imposed a deadline of January 24th for Nigerians to exchange their old, higher denomination banknotes for the new currency. However, there were long queues and complaints that there was insufficient time. It's not the first time that they've had this happen. And the recent interest in Bitcoin has also seen Nigeria, like we said, become the leading country of Bitcoin web searches according to Google Trends. So ironically, when you limit people and governments for your safety, for your security, because again, like you said, banks are Ponzi schemes. They don't have your currency. It's a debt-based system, meaning they just shuffle the paper around everywhere, making more and more loans, shuffling your paper anywhere and everywhere but your account. So when you come to get it, they know, I've got to limit it. This is like the crypto companies, like FTX, with halting withdrawals. This is like Nexo. This is like Genesis. This is like Celsius. This is like Three Arrows Capital, or BlockFi. They're all halting your withdrawals because they don't have the currency. They don't actually have your wealth. That's why we hold in Bitcoin, so we can have self-sovereignty. We hold it. We hold the key. We hold the words in our head. I can go anywhere in the universe with my wealth stored in my head in cold storage. Period. End of story. There's no bank. There's no Chase Bank. There's no Naira. There's no Citibank. There's no government that can tell me what I can or can't do. Those days are over. That's an old age. That's an industrial old fiat age mindset. And again, they are attempting through CBDCs and in Afrigo, all these other cards they're coming out with. These are going to fail spectacularly. We can easily call that now. So please like and subscribe to this channel. Please share this. Please share this everywhere. This is so important because this is coming here. We've been warning about this over and over and over again. This is coming. And the premiums, again, just show you when people understand or truly their life is on the line, they get what's going on. They get what Bitcoin is. And it's just a fraction of what Bitcoin is going to do to the world. It's going to change everything. So please share this around. Your time is Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is time, the only two finite assets we have. That's the fair trade. Why would you trade your finite time for an infinite liability, for an infinite peso, infinite yen, infinite naira, infinite grain of sand, infinite blade of grass? Trade your finite time for a finite asset. Please share this around. I appreciate your time. Again, it's the most important asset we have, like Bitcoin. The only two finite ones. We'll see you on the next one.